Many thanks for staying with us on your ultimate news and current affairs program on television this morning on ITV, Thursday morning edition. All right, on this segment, we have our guest already. We will be looking at a pressing issue. It's a pressing issue of sort because it has to do with unemployment in the country. All right, we'll be looking at youth unemployment and how to solve the challenge. You will agree with me that unemployment has actually led to militancy, kidnapping, so many crimes, and to mention just a few. But I'll be allowing our guests to do justice to that. I'm not alone on the segment. I have my colleague, Dennis Ofik.
You have to stretch it.
I have to stretch it, you know.
Anyway, thank you for having me.
Okay, Dennis Ofik is my colleague who will be doing this together. And of course, with us in the studio is Comrade Kelvin Isesele. Comrade Kelvin Isesele is the CEO of Bosu Palm Oil Refinery in Usubenu, and they also have a branch in Uromi. He is also the CEO of Bosu Bakery in Ghana. He also has so many chains of business. As a matter of fact, Comrade Kelvin is an entrepreneur par excellence. Comrade Kelvin, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, listeners and viewers.
All right, with us in the studio is a learned colleague. I actually say learned colleague. You know, when you are a friend to a lawyer, one way or the other, you're actually a lawyer. So he's a learned colleague. Barrister Israel Ado. He's a clergyman and also a legal practitioner. Welcome on board, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Okay, we've heard what we're talking about this morning. Let me quickly throw this to Comrade Kelvin. What is unemployment? What is unemployment? We'll talk about, you've been assisting people on this. So what is unemployment?
Unemployment, in a logical terms, is when people don't have anything to do.
Okay.
Even when they have the capacity, they have the brains, and the ability to do.
Okay.
But fortunately, they don't have anything to do.
Okay.
As a result of maybe an idle, some can also put it as laziness.
Okay.
In other words, generally, I can say it's just a means of doing nothing. That is what I believe unemployment is in Nigeria today.
Okay.
Well, of course, maybe I should take a barrister on this for our other guests to take some fresh breath. Okay. I want to ask, 2022 has been projected that the unemployment rate in our country will get to around 33% or even much more than that. And in previous years, the figures keep growing. I want to ask, how did we get here?
You see, before now, as a matter of fact, 10 years ago,
Okay.
the unemployment rate in Nigeria was about 2 million.
Okay.
2 million persons unemployed. By this, we mean people that were not in any way in any form of employment. All right, but surprisingly, 2021, from the recent statistics, we have up to 6.3 unemployed people. People that are not in any form of employment at all. And these persons are basically youth.
Okay.
Now, back to your question, what has led us here? It's not far-fetched. When you have a system like this that keeps rolling out, because we'll get there as we discuss, that keep rolling out people out of school without a kind of training that can make them stand on their own, you are going to have serious case of unemployment. So basically, there are a lot of them which I intend, which are in the course of the discussion, look at them one after the other. But the system is a systematic thing. It's a systematic thing.
So why is it important now to address this issue of unemployment?
I'll be talking from both sides.
Okay.
From the government side and from the private side.
Okay.
As you know, by the special grace of God, when you talk about unemployment in Nigeria today, it's a systematic failure on the side of government. First and foremost, our government, from date to today, not just this Buhari government, from successive government, we have not had a government who will be able to provide the enabling environment for private sectors to drive. Insecurity. When the nation is not secured, you can't get investors.
Okay.
quote me anywhere, any day. Government alone cannot also give job opportunity to the youths or the women, as the case may be. But they have to create a platform from individuals who have talent, who have skills, and private sectors who have the finance to create companies where they can give youth employment. But unfortunately, in this part of the world, our government doesn't think about the enabling environment. When you talk of creation of society that should be decent, where people can easily work, you can't just invite an investor from overseas to Nigeria, and after 2-3 days, his manager got kidnapped, and you are asked to pay a ransom of 100 million. Such investor
At
will
the detriment of the business.
Yeah, by the special grace of God, I own a company in Ghana.
Certainly.
Official way.
Okay.
The Ghanaian government, though not that perfect, they will create a neighboring environment for you.
For investors.
For example, my company is located in Adenta. There was no security outfit in that environment. But they came there, they see like 4 or 5 companies are there. They create a mobile station there and create a mobile fire service alongside
That's in
the
sport.
So when you have fire outbreak, you doesn't even have to call the head office. It's just within you there. They will ramp out it instantly. But here, it's just another story entirely.
Okay.
I don't want to be criticizing government.
Of course.
But we also have our individual deficit here. As a young man who just graduated from school, you have taught the theoretical part of it. But it is up to you to also create something from yourself.
At the field.
When you call a state government, I saw a state government skills acquisition centers. When you go there, you will find people there. They don't want to actually do such a thing.
Okay.
He believes I'm a graduate. I graduated with first class on petrochemical engineering.
Okay.
But when you tell them, okay, come and mix water and garri to form soda to sell in the market, they don't really want to do that. So that is why in my first explanation, I said unemployment can also be traced to laziness. And we are too overambitious here in Nigeria. You are supposed to start somewhere, but you don't want that. You want to wear suits. You want to be
we will get to
At
that.
the end of the day, we blame government for those things. Fine, government failure is 80%, but our own negligence is also contributing to unemployment in Nigeria today. Let me take Edo State for example. When you go to political rallies, you see a lot of youth.
Of course.
You
They're in the forefront.
you organize a seminar to teach people how to bake meat pie. You won't see them.
Okay, but I mean, if you want to teach someone, sorry to cut you there, you will continue. You want to teach someone how to bake meat pie, the example you just gave now. And after teaching the person, this is how you acquire this skill. The person does not even have the means of starting.
In America, they will tell you, get the skills first.
Okay.
You need to have the skill. When you have the skill, you know the next step. The first step is for you to have the skill. So when you invite people that Governor Basaki is coming to Epoma today, that place will be filled up. You just organize a seminar, let me teach you how to bake a pie. You won't find anybody. Fine. You may think, when I went there and learned how to bake a pie, I wouldn't have money to start up. Then when governor gives you money, what are you going to start it up with?
Okay.
So you must have the ability. The skills will be with you. Then opportunities will always come. Then you cannot separate God from humanity. When you have something, there is a way God will provide an opportunity for you. That is why when you are going to school, and we're in school those days, you never knew when you graduate you go to have a job. You only have in the mindset. But you prepare yourself.
What's the sense of going to school?
So you prepare yourself. That's why you are going to school.
We'll get back to you. Barrister Ado, do you share in the thoughts?
Yes, I share in his thoughts strongly because the issue of unemployment, as long as the government are not playing their role sufficiently, we also think that the persons involved are not taking enough steps. That's why when you are defining unemployment, we define it as a condition where people who are within the age of employment and are actively looking for a job cannot find. You see that word, actively looking for. You must take steps You must be willing to work.
All right, now, what are the effects, or what is the effect of unemployment?
All right, to deal with the effect, let's look at the causes,
Okay.
so that at least we can take it from there.
Yeah.
If you ask me, I've said it in different fora. One of the major causes of unemployment in Nigeria is our educational system.
Okay.
We have an educational system that is not practical oriented, it's not practical driven. We have a system where people are taught theory. As a matter of fact, I can remember when I was in my secondary school that all through from JS1 to SS3, we were taught computer. It was only once that a computer system was brought to the school. And when it was brought, we had to queue up in a very long queue. When you get there, we paid for it. As
And in your case, you actually saw a computer.
We finally
So
saw
some of
it.
us didn't see it.
We finally saw it that we had to just touch.
You saw, you touched.
Yeah.
You even touched.
This kind of system does not. Now, as we speak now, those in China, once they are learning practical.
Yeah.
For instance, you are doing your final year work is a practical work that can be on ground at the end.
True.
Yes. So our educational system must begin to reform to accommodate a system where people can think.
Okay.
Education is to enable people to solve problems. If what you are learning will not at the end prompt you to think and solve a problem, then you have not learned. We are encouraging a system where people just we cram and the end we pour everything. Yes, some lecturers that we will tell you if you don't give me the exact word I use, you are
back
not
to back.
passing. So it's one of the things that must be checked.
Okay.
Because of time now, if that is understood, then what are the
So you're equally saying we are having half-baked graduates.
Yes. That's the kind of system. That's why when people come out of school and you put them on the job, they can do very little. So we are also using this opportunity to appeal to our employers of labor.
Okay.
That you understand that this is the kind of system people are bringing. That's why you see them they will tell you are coming for a job, they'll tell you have 10 years experience. How can a fresh graduate have 10 years experience? It's not possible.
From his mother's womb, maybe.
You have to be patient with the people to allow them learn on the job.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. The effect is devastating. The effects are numerous. Like you said from the beginning of this section, we have idleness that is leading to a lot of crime,
Kidnapping,
a lot of vices,
militancy,
terrorism,
you name it.
Even the internet fraud that is becoming
of course.
everywhere. It's because people are idle. People are not. There's nothing to do. So you now see parents take their children and say, "Go to this place, go and learn work." What's the work? Internet fraud. So the effect is not telling well on the Nigeria system. It's not telling well on the economy. It's not telling well on us as a nation.
Okay. Anyway, I want to come to our entrepreneur with us here. I want to ask you, as an entrepreneur, would you say that you have the enabling environment to thrive? Because even those that have been able to build capacity, those that have been able to build skills and be able to bring something from where nothing is available, I mean, trying to bring water out of the rock, would you say that the enabling environment has been there for you? I mean, you don't just have business outside Nigeria, you also have business in Nigeria as well.
Let me come to this, my brother's submission quickly before I respond to you. There is total government failure in our educational system. Government failure in the sense that when you are supposed to read biology in school, you did your job, you didn't pass very well.
Okay.
You are compelled to choose alternative course.
That is not related.
That is not related. And in doing so, you need influential person from the system of government to influence the VC or the lecturer or whoever is giving you an admission.
But is that blame? Is that blame?
I'm coming. When you bribe yourself into the university, you bribe yourself out of the university. When you give the opportunity, you cannot do well. Of course. And I cannot blame such person. I blame the government who has created that loophole for people to bribe their way into the academic of Nigeria without being qualified. When you are in China, you are supposed to read law, you fail law, you go back. You can't switch to medicine just because your brother is an honorable member. He can easily sign a letter for you and the university will accept you. So the educational failure in Nigeria has contributed and is the major effect we have as an unemployment today. When you talk of a neighboring environment, I was never created, I was never had a neighboring environment for myself.
Okay.
I was once a wheelbarrow pusher in this country.
Okay.
I did conductor. If you go to Ring Road, just ask of Kekere, they will tell you. For the little prosit of conductor and bus driving, I left the country.
Okay.
I went to Dubai. I was working with a bakery. I saved money. I met my wife in Dubai. She was a Ghanaian. We went to Ghana and established our own bakery company. From there, we grew. Before I came to Nigeria to establish rentals, the oil sector, and all other things we needed to do.
Okay.
But I cannot say the government created a neighboring environment for me. I can only attribute that to grace of God.
You created it for yourself.
Yeah, through the grace
Hard
of
work.
God.
Okay.
I can't call it hard work because I'm not the only person.
Okay, through the
who has
grace
done
of
that.
God.
It is through the grace of
I
God.
was actually pulling your leg there.
Yeah, when you say hard work, it's a lie.
Okay.
So it is the grace of God that brought us to where we are today.
Okay.
That is it. Then the effect.
Yeah.
You can see the effect is already telling on us. Yeah. When some people will go and bomb a train and
moving
kidnap
train.
people
A moving
and deny
train.
the ransom. I watched with tears when the 30 man was paraded by insurgents. And the system that has failed us cannot trace where these people are. And they are located in so-called Nigeria. You can 3 days ago, we had the shoot in America. Under 24 hours, the person was arrested. But when you commit a crime in Nigeria, you can easily go scot-free. You keep committing a crime. But when money meant for ammunition has been spent individually, you can't trace a youth who have just carried a gun. Another failure in our educational system is courtesy in school.
Okay.
When your parents sent you to school, you went to go and belong to another group, secret society, and that gives you the privileges to have the necessary exams passed because you are putting lecturer under duress for you to get A1.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you get A1. And you are coming to apply a job on ITV. And unfortunately, the man you met on ITV is going to give you a direct interview. It's not your court member.
Yeah.
You lose the job and you become an unemployed. The next thing, you take arms because when you were in school, arms was available for you.
Okay.
Then, when this set of people are caught, we don't have strong institutions in Nigeria to checkmate them. When I'm talking of strong institutions, we have strong individuals, but we don't have strong institutions. Institutions in the sense that when police got you arrested for crime, when you know anybody that is a little bit higher than the IPO, you are free. And when you have money, you are free. But when we have strong institutions, where the law actually works, when the constitution given to us that we all know, people who want to defend this constitution to the letter are up and going. You will be scared of crime, and you have alternative means of livelihood. There are still a lot of people in the motor park today who are still working, earning their daily bread. But others choose the other shortcut, which is not actually good. But all I have to narrow them to system failure, no strong institutions. We have strong individuals who can make up and you got released. And we also have people who are not ready to start from the little. They want to start from the top. Just because they heard our president in one of his campaigns said from top to bottom, which is supposed to be from bottom to top. So we cannot be political, but in reality, the job unemployment and effect and its causes is directly on government, 80%. And our own parents who are actually unable to checkmate the child when you are growing. I still remember some years ago, some parents very close to me, when his son brought things home, he always asked,
where did you get this from?
Where did you get this from? And when you are not able to explain or expatiate on it, he will beat you and say to where you are coming from. I remember he brought somebody to us then. Are you the one that gave this person this thing? But today, when you, like a 21-year-old son, brought GLK, you see the mother jubilating with powder.
With powder?
How can a 21-year-old child having a car worth 12 million naira and you are still in secondary school? The parents doesn't care. Then the government too doesn't care. The government are supposed to care. The police, they'll stop you on their way. If maybe you are able to give them something, they'll let you go. But they are supposed to, like, okay, let's assume the parents are fit. The government is also to have checkmated. Okay? But here we are. It's rising, it's rising, it's rising. Institutions we don't have. That is the major cause of this failure.
Okay, now. There was a time the president and commander-in-chief of armed forces, not the president of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, he actually made a statement, and I quote, he said, there's no vacancy anywhere No vacancy in the federal government, no vacancy in the state government, and of course in the local government. Okay, so what is your take on that, Barrister?
I think when he said vacancy, I'm struggling to understand what it means because
he was actually talking directly to the youth.
Yes, maybe politically, because in the civil service, for instance, you cannot speak for those states.
Okay.
I've watched with great joy how the state government have massively recruited over the years.
Over the years.
Yes, as I speak, there are still 1 or 2 job placements everywhere in the states. The government is always recruiting, so I don't know what it meant by maybe politically there are no vacancy, or maybe in those institutions like immigration, prison services.
No, he was emphatic. He said you can be a graduate, but it's not an automatic means to get employment.
It's very sad that it's coming out from someone who occupies such a very exotic position.
Okay.
You get it? Because if somebody in school hears that tomorrow, you can imagine what the mentality will be. That I'm coming out of school, I'm not sure of what to eat. So as it's coming out, it's thinking of option B. You see, that's how their mind works towards crime. So I don't think it's commendable. I don't think it was the right word to have said at this point in time. When we have an upsurge in crime and all of those things.
All right.
Anyway, let's talk about the way forward from all of this. I mean, you have been able to tell us how you were able to scale through, starting from this crash. I mean, the world itself was meant to start small, how God created it. That's why you can't give birth to a child today and then the child start talking, you know. Okay, so how can we get out of all of this? It seems from all of our talks so far, much of the blame has been thrown at the doorpost of the government. What about the individuals? What about the individuals? What role can the individuals really play to see that the unemployment rate, you know, is brought to the barest minimum? Because government all over the world cannot employ everybody.
Yeah,
that's true.
Of a truth, we'll still narrow it down to government, even as an individual.
Okay.
If I should take myself for example, I have palm oil refinery in Isugbenu.
Okay.
I bought the land,
Okay.
bought every necessary equipment, bought the farms and everything, individually. But where government role should have come in, when I went for certificate of registration, it took me 3 months
To get your
company
registered. Okay.
But where I was registering my company, it took me 72 hours, and it was even done online.
At comfort
of my zone. So it is lack of strong institutions in Nigeria. They actually have the certificate registration processed within few days. But you know what? When you don't get bribe, your file will be on the table. You can't get it.
Okay, I mean, we are talking about government here. And those people, the people who are making reference to now, they are individuals. They are individuals like you and I.
But they are working under government. And the salary structure of the government is not enough for them. Let's go this pay.
Okay, so they look for that means.
They look for that means to survive.
Wow.
That is why I said we don't have strong institutions who actually care for the welfare of the society and the people. When you employ someone as managing director in a NAFDAC office, if I actually went to NAFDAC and take NAFDAC registration for my brand, the person's salary is, let me say 50,000 for example.
Okay.
And a bag of rice in the market is 34,000. He hasn't paid his transportation to the office. House rent hasn't been paid.
Medical bills, school fees.
Let's just, let basic necessity the person need to go to work first. Transportation, feeding, he has to eat.
Of course.
He has to transport to where? Has taken the salary that 1 week. And you have 1,000 people file on his table to just sign free and give it to you. It's not possible.
So that becomes his workshop.
That becomes his workshop. It's not possible. So
That becomes his plan B.
Sometimes when I listen to some analysts in this country, they are afraid not to speak the truth.
Okay.
The government are failed. And the institutions are not working. You have an MD who is coming to work around 2 o'clock. To do what?
All right.
Then to just
Let's just wrap up,
everything,
so we're drawing the
to round
curtain.
everything up, the only solution we have now is election is coming.
Okay.
I will encourage our youth to look at individuals who can be able to sit in the National Assembly and first destroy this unholy marriage called Constitution given to us. It's the problem of Nigeria. When we are done with this 1999, this Constitution by Lord Lugard, my dear brother, when we have a real Constitution, strong institutions will stand.
You are a legal practitioner.
I was about coming to that.
You are a legal practitioner. So he just pointed the accusing finger at your constituency. I mean, I didn't want to say that. So is our constitution our problem as it concerns unemployment and, of course, equitable distribution of resources?
When it comes to employment issues, I think the constitution will sufficiently deal with that. There's something called the federal character.
Yes.
Yes, it is, as it is believed, it is expected that in every governmental establishment that a number of persons is taken from each region to be represented. So the constitution has sufficiently covered for that and all of those things. But the issue is not always the law. The issue is the implementation. Okay. That's where the problem comes in. We have copious provisions, we have copious law to guide us on how things should be done right. Now that people say, do away with constitution, I know there are some provisions in the constitution that needs urgent attention. But get the constitution of the US and bring to Nigeria and leave Nigerians to implement it, it will still fail. So that's why we talk about system. If the people are not willing, if the people are not willing, for instance, we have the Bible as Christians that should guide us. How many of us follow those things? If you follow the ways of the Bible, like the way the word Bible have said in the book of Joshua 1 verse 8, it said, and you shall have good success. Meditate on it. Do this, do that.
This book of the Lord.
You understand? If you follow it, you know what it will bet. But how many of us are patient enough? You spoke about shortcuts. You get it. People want to get this thing. Everybody wants endemic kind of prosperity these days. I want to have money, but I don't want to go through the process of starting from below. So if you ask me, I think, irrespective of the governmental issues that is surrounding issue of unemployment, I think as individuals we must rise up to the situation. Put your best. If you are going to school, come at best. If you are choosing a course, choose a very good course. I tell you the truth, as it is now. If you graduate as a first-class student in law, for instance, or as a first class in medicine, there is no way you'll be able to apply in this country. It's not possible. I'm telling you, take it to the bank, take it anywhere. For instance, if you graduate as a first class in law, there are very strong law firms in this country that will give you automatic employment. Automatic employment when you graduate. That's one. There are some that gives you scholarship to go and do your masters in some of the best schools in the world. Oxford, Cambridge, all of those things, you get it. So
are you saying those that didn't graduate with first class now, they'll have issues?
Yes, issues may come up. That's why I'm saying that you must, on your own, educate yourself. Okay. Why we think the education system is not doing fine, it's not at its best, but if you go to the system, you put in your best, come out as one of the best.
Put in your best, come out as one of the best.
You are self-employment. But if you are unable to come out as the best, as you are schooling, be learning the trade. Yes, I've told myself and I've told my children that as they are going to school, they are learning vocational education or trade. So that as you are coming out, there's something you are doing. Thank God people are beginning to embrace it. We now have a lot of persons who are self-employed and all of those things. I think we should encourage. The government should wake up to assist.
Final word now from Comrade Kevin. Final word.
I think I will quickly disagree with some parts of his.
Okay, well, okay.
Like the Constitution.
Yes.
I have actually read most of these constitutions. Nigeria Constitution have loopholes. It provides, like the federal character you talk about. When you look at section 8 and 9 of the labor law, you have loopholes where I can work for you. When you don't pay me salary, I have the right to go to have sue you. Okay. But it's not working. Okay?
So where you talked about implementation or something?
Yes. When you talk about implementation, even when you put the implementation on board, there are still loopholes in the Constitution for you to get out.
If I must say this, sorry, I'm not.
It's just for you to hire. I'm coming.
I'm not cutting you short. When it comes to working and you cannot sue, that one is on the area of businesses that are not.
Comrade Kevin, everyone have right to air their opinion, okay?
So that is
why let's just respect.
Another angle is simple. Even the Bible said, I didn't come for the righteous.
Okay.
You can't go by the best because we have the best, the average, and the lower ones. In class, you have one will take first, second, and third, fifth positions. If you are not take first, out of 100, you take first. The 99 should be thrown away.
No, you didn't understand me.
No,
I was saying something. I said as individual now. One of the ways you can rescue yourself
is to work on yourself.
Now, our educational system, for instance,
what the government should do now
is to create
skills acquisition centers.
Okay. Let's
where people can learn handwork. And create food for themselves.
All right.
The certificate aspect of it should be put in one side for the now. Because even right now, the people roofing their house, the talax, the POP guy, they are the one making money now. As at today. Education can only go to technology, and we don't even have the technology hubs here.
Not only technology.
So now,
we'll have another time to digress on this. Okay, so let's just stick to the topic we have on board. Okay, so is that okay? Hopefully we might have another time. Have you guys again. Then we see how to diversify into other topics. Okay, then Sophie, can I find out word from you before we?
Well, of course, part of what they have said, I mean, they've given instances where, of course, government can play their parts and individuals as well can play their parts. I'm sure Barrister was not trying to relegate the relevance of relevance of
those who are not, who doesn't have certificates.
You know, so it's a good one. But final word from Barrister before we let you leave. What exactly do you think government can actually do to see that the issue is addressed? Because there are those, he made reference to people who are not well paid. I mean, in terms of welfare package and remuneration and all of that, you know. And of course, it's not something that is new to anybody in the country. How can government really address the issue of those that are underemployed? I mean, you are qualified for a job, you are working, but then what you are taking home is not in commensurate with the effort you are putting in. How can government address that? And then how can government address also the issue of the high number of youths on the streets? At the point where, of course, you get to see them, you want to see them become useful is when maybe during when election when it's time for election. So let's talk about how government can actually reduce the number of youths on the streets.
One of the way the government can come in here, I think my colleague here, my friend here mentioned it, is for us to provide an enabling environment for people who are trying to come up from the system, coming up from the background, starting from the scratch. We need to provide an enabling environment for them. Okay. Security, light, good road, and all of those things. That's one. Then secondly, I think the Edo State government is doing that. Though you also mentioned that at a point that some persons are not embracing it. Skill acquisition centers.
Edo Job.
Yes.
Edo Job. We have a platform.
We must begin to shout it out. Let people embrace it. You must learn a skill. The way the world is going, I have a lot of respect for certificates. But we are getting to a level where a certificate may not be able to deliver for you.
We've gotten to that point.
Yes, we are at that point.
We are at that
point.
point.
Learn a skill. Learn a skill. The truth is, all these workmen now, like I said, they are raking a lot of money this period. You will be the one wearing suit sitting there, sitting inside the sea in the back and all of those things. But at the end, what you take home will be too small. But these guys will just come, look at what you need to do. The kind of bid they will give you, you'll be surprised. They are making a good amount of money. So let the youth embrace skill. Let's embrace it. Let's also embrace technology. I tell you the truth. Let's embrace technology, social media, a lot of platform, content creating, all of those things. And you'll be surprised at the level at which you can make yourself useful to the society.
Thank you, gentlemen. Like, we've dealt extensively with this subject matter. I mean, I was in Epoma recently, and the bike man, the Okada man that carried me around before I came back to Benin, we got talking, and I just felt, okay, let me just engage him in discussion. I was like, don't you think you should get admission and go to school? He smiled. I was at the point of paying him. He now told me he's a graduate. Because of lack of job, he had to get this for the meantime. He's even planning to go back for his master's.
You can't beat that.
But just imagine, he's a graduate, he has his first degree, going for the second degree, yet he rides an Okada. Well, to an extent.
That's very, very instructive. I mean, if you don't have anything to do, start something. Just start something.
We can't, if we want to wait for the government, we may wait forever.
Yeah, you wait forever.
Wait forever. You have to help yourself.
All right, thank you, gentlemen, for coming by. We sincerely appreciate. Okay, TMI will continue shortly. Don't go nowhere.